All right, here we go with a kind of a long one. This is called Jazz Chef and Blues Dad. This poem explains the difference between a jazz musician and a blues musician. Every musician is one or the other. Chef knows how to cook, did more than read a book. Chef went to some cooking academy, so he can cordon bleu you and me. Chef got a school degree, a certificate to benefit him financially. Chef's not looking for any kind of job, only cooking, his career, even if it's cooking an ear of corn on the cob. So Chef is a cooking professional, the highest paid food preparational. Does the food taste different each day? Not a chef's cooking. Variation? No way. But what if Chef is feeling sad? What happens if Chef cooks when he is mad? You guessed it, the food will taste the same. No crying in the soup, no time to complain. What if Chef's not hungry very much? Will Chef's appetite affect his cooking, taste, or touch? When things go wrong, can Chef yell and scream? Nope, Chef's a professional maintaining a career dream. Dad knows how to cook. Barbecuing didn't require a book. Dad learned to cook a couple dozen dishes. Variations of healthy diets satisfy childish wishes. Dad learned burgers, burritos, and steak without ever cooking a fancy cake. Dad doesn't cook to make money, but he puts faces in pancakes to make them funny. So Dad just cooks in his kitchen at home, a regular schedule for kids being grown. The same meal may change spices every cooking, but Dad can experiment. This ain't a hotel booking. But what if Dad is feeling sad? What happens when Dad cooks when he is mad? Yep, TV dinners or Burger Queen fries. Being angry in the kitchen is worse than buzzing flies. Close. And should people who throw tantrums be allowed near so many knives? And what if Dad's not hungry very much? Will the loss of appetite slow him down like a crutch? And when things go wrong, can Dad yell and complain? Yeah, Dad's allowed to share what's erupting from his brain. What about Chef's customers? Does he have a dish he'd like to share? But when they choose something else in rejection, Chef feels worse. So it's best if professionally Chef doesn't care. He's there to do a job and fulfill the customer's needs. Chef is satisfying the hungry mob who are willing to pay his price, wherever he cooks and feeds. Dad's customers, well, the kids. They are captives to test and eat what he gives. But unlike the consistent chef, Dad's desire to please will affect his recipes, deserved by earning, never receiving accolades or tips. Dad's there to do his best. Vicarious satisfaction is his success. He only worries about feeding his own brood, expressing his love and preparing, caring, cooking, and serving what they'll eat in 10 minutes. Love and life expressed through food. If all I've said and what you've read makes sense to you, whoever you are, then now I can share what I now concede is to compare jazz and blues guitar. Jazz players know how to play by reading music from a book. Blues players know enough so they can provide an unprofessional, personal musical look. By creating a song, an original, based upon a heartache, anger, some feeling, that blues dad hopes will make you full of whatever blues dad was musically revealing. Jazz is a working professional. He knows many songs from long ago. Blues is seasoned and seasonal, providing an inconsistent, emotional, financially heartbroken show. But what if Mr. Jazz is feeling sad? He's got to sound and play the same even when mad. Blues is a truth that must be felt. Honesty is the only way to sell it. What if blues doesn't want that song to play? It's up to him. He can change the playlist any time of day. And when Mr. Blues feels the need to scream, we want to know his story. We're all joining this musical dream. So the blues player cannot show up to jam with jazz. The jazzy songs he can't throw up. The radio hit songs and requests of others to the blues man sound like angry in an undecipherable foreign language. Angry grandmothers. The jazz player plays whatever he's told. The blues player shares only his heart and soul. The jazz player won't play unless he's paid. The blues player's happy for a couple drinks or getting laid. So the blues man lives in his own private world. He protects encased in a song. The jazz man improvises with melodies slightly swirled, trying to be professional with a little bit of wrong. The jazz man expresses feeling through someone else's notes. He plays what's ordered music in restaurants and boats. But even if the blues men have voices like frogs or goats, what they lack in jazz training can earn them Grammy votes. But mostly it's the jazz guys, winning and taking all the awards. They write and read the charts and music another jazz guy scored. As for Mr. Blues, he's waiting for the day when teenagers will again appreciate the truth a blues dad can play. I was in the Alex Prager photo shoot art film yesterday. She heard me practicing my flute right here at Regency Theaters, where I sing and play. I'm looking at where we filmed it. Okay, a couple days ago. She was scouting this location right here, where yesterday here she directed her crowd, shooting from a crane or a car, driving through that extras cloud. Background actors, they're called now. 3/4 of them from central casting. She had a couple horses, but not a single cow, dressing me up as a pink-shirted cowboy with my flute, walking and playing. I weaved through the crowds, made the other actors laugh and smile. If there was a camera, I was unaware of it, stirring up trouble or stopping to chat once in a while. During one of the breaks, behind me sat a retired teacher of music classes. She'd gotten herself a master's degree to pass on this musical wisdom to the masses. I'll warn you now, she plays jazz. I asked her to explain jazz from the blues. She said, from the blues, jazz evolved. But the answer is best resolved by saying a jazzman can play the blues, but a blues man can't play the jazz song jazz songs necessary to get the gigs where a jazz man belongs. Jazz requires training. Blues requires heart. When a jazz man is straining, his emotions may be explaining what eventually returns to the paper music chart. Blues might learn a song to make some cash. If it's a song you wish he'd wrote, otherwise it's trash. But if blues dad ever records cut and paste riffs, he's not jazz, he's not blues. He's an audience with an instrument. Don't get cocky, you're just a musical tourist. As I talked to the jazz music teacher, I started to feel as though she was a sinner and I was a preacher. For the past 21 years, she's ignored the music degree to stand in the background of a Hollywood movie. She was one of those music teachers who only did it for money, a job she thought she'd like to do. Like kids who play video games believing a career testing video games is what they should do. But her heart wasn't in the blues, retiring with her intellectual jazz to spend her days on film crews. 2 students per day would provide the same pay, but her love of jazz allowed her to throw music away. Another crappy teacher, but her long-term effect was to deprive America's future by providing musical neglect. We need teachers who like teaching and music teachers who like playing. So kids will have inspirational role models instead of the losers they're obeying. Now on a final note of words on paper wrote, yesterday I did inspire a fellow actor to be inspired to a new desire. I taught Elijah to play trombone during the hours we shot yesterday. There were several other kids with broken instruments, and even them, I showed them how to play. Elijah and I had a couple good jams. With half the crew gathered around us, we had a good time as about 50 hands gave us some whistles and claps. After the shoot was done, I'd clocked out and driven home. I received a phone call. They called me back to record the soundtrack. I played as he recorded my flute on the edge of the mall. I played Boré, written by Bach, but I played my arrangement, which I made sound like Jethro Tull. I look forward to seeing what Alex Prager shot. Since they shot MOS, I played and practiced this new blues song I've got. It's called My Muscle Car. An actor-drummer said, "We need a bass player. That song's hot." I could read paper music if I wanted to. In the 70s, I decided to lose it. Now I'm a blues man because I did choose it. There you go. That's Jazz Chef and Blues Dad. Did I illuminate the non-musical audience as to the difference between the jazz and the blues? One more perspective of it.